Yo, what is up, guys? My name is Nicholas Earle, and welcome back to another episode of Earle Sports Bets. And today we have another video, and I just finished recording 5 teams to buy on. We are positive in that video, and it's not going to be the same in this video. This is 5 teams to sell on in the second half of the year. Teams that maybe have overachieved so far this year. They have a higher win total projected now, or a higher bettable win total now than they were preseason, things like that. So we're looking to sell high on these teams is really what the concept is. Teams I'm expecting to share some negative regression in the second half. Maybe their schedules are getting more difficult, and maybe just the lines are telling you that they're not going to have the type of half they had in the first half and things along those lines. So let's get right into it with the honorable mentions, which last video we had 2 honorable mentions. We will have 2 in this one as well. Starting with St. Louis under 82.5 wins. This one was an honorable mention for me, mainly because my projections may not agree with this one. Fangraphs has them at 83.1 wins. Even though their projection at 82 and their DK number is 82.5, and they're on pace for 84.4 wins this year. They're 50 and 46. They had the 24th strength of schedule to start the season, and heading out of the All-Star break, the Cardinals have the 9th toughest. So their strength of schedule will go up. So I expect them to regress a little bit here, under 82.5 wins. Also, one thing that kind of jumped off the page for me, this team is 4 games over 500 with a run differential of -38. I expect them to get worse in the second half, even though they might buy a little bit. I don't expect the Cardinals to continue what they've done in the first half here. I expect them to negative regress, under 82.5 wins for the Cardinals. Minnesota under 89.5 wins is the other honorable mention for this one here. And very similar to the Cardinals, this is more of they're getting a tougher strength of schedule. They were 27th rated strength of schedule in the first half. In the second half, it's going to be the 11th rated strength of schedule. They're on pace they're 54 and 42. They're on pace for 91.21 wins. Fangraphs has them at 89.2, and their DK number is 89.5. So I do project them a little bit of regression here. Do they miss the playoffs? I don't know. Maybe that's another thing to look at, is them to miss the playoffs. But I look for Minnesota to regress a little bit here in the second half of the season with a little bit tougher of a strength of schedule. By the way, St. Louis to miss the playoffs, -150 on DraftKings. And for the Minnesota Twins to miss the playoffs, you're probably going to get a much better number here for them, as DK does not have odds for them right now. So it looks like I do not have odds for Minnesota to miss the playoffs. If this will let me scroll down more, that'd be cool. There we go. No, I do not have odds for Minnesota playoffs. I'm not saying they miss the playoffs, but I'm saying they get under 89.5 wins. All right. Yeah, this is the first one that when I came up with the concept of the ideas, under for Cleveland was the first thing to pop up as. Obviously, we're not going to have make missed playoffs here because they're far in front for the Central Division. They still win the Central Division. But with that being said, I have them Fangraphs has them at 89.9 wins this year, which their DK number is 92.5. They're 58 and 37 on pace for 99 wins this year. They're not going to win 99 games. Why? Because they had the 29th rated strength of schedule in the first half of the season. In the second half, it's second. Yeah, they're going to have a significantly tougher strength of schedule in the second half, the Cleveland Guardians, and I don't see them keeping it up here. This is probably my favorite one out of the bunch, is Cleveland under. I will probably be betting Cleveland under 92.5 wins. I look for them to negatively regress in the second half. Tougher strength of schedule. The projections have them at 89 wins or 90 wins when they're on pace for 99. I think this is very, very telling. Everything here under 92.5 for the Cleveland Guardians here, looking in the second half. Following up with another divisional leader, and maybe I'm just doubting these teams because I expect them to come back down to earth, but the Milwaukee Brewers under 88.5 wins is another one I like here. They are 55-42 in the first half, on pace for 91.85 wins. Their DK is at 88.5, and Fangraphs has them projected at 87.6. And very similarly, they did have the 25th rated strength of schedule in the first half. Now, it does get tougher, but not significantly tougher in the second half. 18th. So they will have a little bit tougher of a schedule, which I think will result in them losing a few more games. And DK is kind of projecting that as well. I don't see Milwaukee winning at the same pace as they were in the beginning of the season. So under 88.5 wins in this one. For the team number 2. On to team number 3. A lot of people are not going to like this because they're the best team in baseball right now. But give me the Phillies under 98.5 wins. Why? Well, when you look at these numbers here, they are 62-34 this season. They're on pace for 104.65 wins. And their number is 98.5. 7 lower. And I think it's very telling because why is it number like this? Fangraphs has them projected at 98 wins because they've played the easiest strength of schedule, number 30 in baseball, the first half of the season. That goes up to 7th in the second half of the season. Now, I'm not saying they don't win the division. I'm not saying they don't make the playoffs. I'm just saying they're not going to win 100 games this year. I don't think anybody wins 100 games this year in the MLB. I look for Philly when they get that tougher strength of schedule to regress a little bit here, and so do the books as well when they have their win total 6 lower than the wins they're on pace for right now. So under 98.5 for Philadelphia. I actually really like this as well. The only thing that's kind of pushing me away from not betting this at the moment is I could have gotten this a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago at around 101.5. So I do look for them to lose a little bit more games than they did in the first half. It's going to be very difficult to keep up 105 win pace as well if you're the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm just going to challenge them to do that. Under 98.5 wins for them. I know a lot of people like this team, or they didn't like the team to be in the beginning of the season, and I get it. But give me Boston under 85.5 wins here. When you look at the Red Sox, they are 53-42 on pace for 90.4 wins, but the Fangraphs has them at 85.3, and their strength of schedule will get tougher. They had the 22nd rated strength of schedule to start the season. That goes up to 3rd. So they have a significantly tougher strength of schedule here in the second half of the season, and minus 120 to miss the playoffs when they're a team that I think is a couple games up on the Royals, which we'll get into them in just a second here. I look for the Red Sox to come back down to earth a little bit in the second half. I think they're going to be a decent team. I see them around 83 to 85 wins. So I see a little bit of value here under 85.5. And plus their win total, I believe in the beginning of the season was like around 78.5. So you're getting some value there. And I know I was high on this team heading into the year. Their win total was 72.5, I believe, heading into the season. And now it's up to 85.5. They've had a great first half of the season. Unfortunately, I see them regressing here in the second half, and so do the books. Minus 165 to miss the playoffs. No value there, but under 85.5 wins for the Kansas City Royals. They are 52-45. They have started to slow down a little bit. They were off to an amazing start to start the year. They're on pace for 86.83 wins, and they have them projected at Fangraphs has them projected at 83.8 wins. Their strength of schedule was 18th to start the year. In the second half, it's 14th. So it's not like their strength of schedule is overly difficult, but this is just a team that I'm feeling they may trade off a couple pieces potentially. And this team just doesn't have those players that have been competitive wire to wire before, other than like Salvador Perez. They don't have just the experience, which I think is going to come into play here in the second half as well. Royals under 85.5 wins. I know there's such a good story, and I hope I'm wrong on this one. I want to see the Royals make the playoffs. I want to see the Royals have some success. But with that being said, I see some negative regression for them here, under 85.5 wins for them if I'm looking to sell on teams. Let's go over the teams here real quick. We'll quick little recap, and then we will head on out. Cardinals under 82.5 wins. And the Twins under 89.5 wins. Guardians under 92.5 wins. This is probably my favorite one of them all. Milwaukee under 88.5. The Phillies under 98.5. The Red Sox under 85.5. And then the Royals to wrap it on up under 85.5 wins. If you guys have teams you're looking to sell on in the second half of the season, let me know down in the comment section below. Did I miss any? Would have you picked different teams? Let me know down below. But that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys as always for watching, and good luck.